And for more, we cross to Jerusalem and correspondent Irris Makler. Irris, talk of a new phase, but a lot of fighting this Tuesday.
That's right, because I guess the truth is that while war is extremely dangerous, the the problem comes when war appears to be over and then isn't over. Then it's both confusing, dangerous, and treacherous. And I think that's what we're seeing on the ground right now. Israel had began withdrawing troops from the north of the Gaza Strip at the turn of the new year. Thousands of troops were withdrawn. Fighting was concentrated in the center and in the south. Nevertheless, today we saw an upsurge in violence, both fighting in the north of the Gaza Strip. We saw civilians, Palestinian civilians, who said, we were planning to return to our homes there. And thank God we didn't, because it was an onslaught such as we haven't heard from right back at the beginning of the first phase, back at the end of October. So, there's been that resumption of fighting. And at the same time, we saw a slew of rockets, a barrage of rockets coming into Israel from the north of the Gaza Strip. So the place appears to be empty. Israeli troops appear to have withdrawn, and nevertheless, there's fighting there. And the Hamas-run health ministry has reported 158 deaths today. I'm sure they include combatants, but nevertheless, that's a significant number. And that's when troops have withdrawn. So you see two things happening at once, Francois. One is that when there's a vacuum, it's filled. So Palestinians are trickling back to their homes, prepared to live if they exist, or even to rebuild. The other is that the authorities are trickling back, and that includes Hamas. We've heard reports from two sources now that Hamas is returning to run hospitals in the north of the Gaza Strip. If that's right, then what was this whole fight about from Israel's point of view?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Israel, which is still not, or its government still not spelling out a plan for how to make that transition to some kind of a new Palestinian authority, and that's stoking tensions with Washington.
That's right. It's a problem in and of itself because, nature abhors a vacuum. And if you're not going to set up a new authority, then the old authority can just come back, or ordinary Palestinians can come back, and they still are controlled by Hamas, who I've just seen a report are still building their tunnels. The other thing is, because Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu refuses to discuss what form this will take, this day after in Gaza, which day after appears to already be here in some measure, it's stoking huge tensions with Washington. During the first phase of the war, Biden, the US president, and Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, spoke every 3 to 4 days. They haven't spoken for more than 3 weeks. And that expresses the American, I think, displeasure, anger. I've read different versions of this in various reports out of the US. And I guess it just depends how irritated they get with Netanyahu, because they have lots of leverage. They can decide not to support Israel in the United Nations. They can decide simply to send less ammunition and less weaponry. So all those options are open unless Benjamin Netanyahu finds a way back to making nice with Washington.